Here we go again. G'day and welcome to the latest edition of Rugby League Insider. We do it all thanks to the good people at Fanatics TV. If you want to tune in via the podcast, Apple Music, Spotify, all good retail outlets. Now, along for the ride today, look, she's licking a few wounds after the Bulldogs' performance Saturday against the Newcastle Knights, but she's here nonetheless. Darcie, McDonald, how are you, mate?
Look, I'm all black because I'm mourning. I'm in mourning.
Wasn't that bad, was it?
Look, first loss of the season. We go again. Big game this week. I just got to try and find the positives.
Who have you got this week?
Rabbitohs, Good Friday.
Wow, yeah. Awesome. Can't wait. And Savage by name, Savage by nature. He's flying off the top turnbuckle as always. Brandon, how are you, buddy?
I'm very good. Had a good weekend. We had an emergency podcast for the first time on the weekend, so that was exciting.
A little bit left field, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was. It was very fun. And we recorded downstairs and it looked awesome.
It did look good in that Miami sports bar. Apparently, is it the Fanatics? The sound of it isn't as good as what it sounds upstairs here in whatever this bar's called.
We'll still get Brent Reid driving past regardless.
Yeah. No, he's on a mission at the moment. He's moved on for Leichhardt Oval. He's now running the Anthony Seibold protection racket about why Seib shouldn't have been sacked. But it's a little bit late for that now, Peabody, so we will move on. Now, awesome weekend of footy. I'm loving the upsets. I certainly didn't see West Tigers winning Friday night. Cowboys were off their heads to come back 3 tries in 7 minutes to overcome Melbourne. Didn't see Newcastle beating the Dogs, not without their best 2 players. But we're going to kick off in the national capital. I think, to me, that was the game of the round yesterday. That was an epic duel. They don't like each other, those 2 sides. Goes back to last year's final series in September when the Raiders went out in straight sets and the Sharkies were the ones who ultimately bundled them out in sudden death. What do you think of this one, Darcie? I'll tell you what, Braden Trindle, he kicked them to death. He caused Xavier Savage a lot of trouble. No relation, we should point out. He caused X a lot of trouble on the wing for the Raiders. They clearly had a game plan that they were going to go after him and they had some success with it.
I thought Braden Trindle and Nico Hines were heavily involved and played well. And look, the Sharks really needed to respond after that loss to the Dolphins, and they did that quite convincingly. And you know what? The Sharks look like a team, and it's like, I'm stating the obvious here, but they look like a team that's been playing together for a really long time. Like, they just gel. There's moments like the Dolphins loss where they do look like they're, to use your words, a bit of a rabble, or Arthur or Martha. Don't know if they're Arthur or Martha. But they looked great against the Raiders. But in saying that, I thought the Raiders, they have so much strike on their edges. And I think it was Luke Keary who said this on the Fox coverage, that the type of team that could just flick a switch and win 10 games in a row because they're so dangerous. And yes, Xavier Savage had some headaches, but my goodness, that try where he just turned something out of nothing and started stepping 3 players to score, he has got so much talent. Great game. I know the Raiders are sitting pretty low on the ladder at the moment, but I'm not concerned about them. Something's gonna click soon, and they're gonna go on a winning run. They just have so much talent and X factor in that team. Mate,
I agree. To your point about the Green Machine and the amount of strike that they have right across the park, they made 9 line breaks to 4. I love the way that they play with that cavalier, risky style of game plan. There's a lot of offloads. There's a lot of second phase play. The fact that Matt Timoko can't make that side at the moment, he's a Kiwi test player, but I'm not questioning his omission because Simi Sasagi is bringing that much at right centre. And the bloke outside him, Xavier Savage, he had some issues under the high ball. They did have some success. I thought Cronulla did a good job of pretending that they were competing for the ball and just putting Xavier off just enough so that they continually were getting results. Not every single time, but there was quite a few scenarios where I was like, hang on a minute, I reckon that's a 50-50 and Cronulla's got the rub of the green there. Brandon, I felt like the Raiders were always coming to get them. Yes, Horsburgh stuffed up early doors. That was a blue. You know what, though? In that circumstance, Nico tapes a quick tap. He's flying at you. I can understand why the big red sauce just reacted the way that he did. But there's no question that bit Canberra on the arse big time, because then they were constantly playing catch up the entire game.
Yeah, I think they played really well and they were coming for them in the end. They just didn't have enough gas in them towards the end. I am worried about them though.
The Raiders?
They led through 28 points in the first round, 40 points in the second round. They lost to the Bulldogs in that wet night the other night, and 34 against the Sharks on the weekend. They built their game on tough footy, tough defensive footy. And I don't know if their attack can keep up with that. They're a really good attacking side, but they attack through their offloads and second phase play. I don't know if it's enough to build up their defence. But if their defence if they get on top of their defence, then they're every chance of coming good. But yeah, I am slightly concerned because they came into the season early last year really, really firing in their defence.
So the big change for the Raiders this year in terms of personnel is Jamal Fogarty, no longer the halfback. He's gone to the Seagulls. And young Ethan Sanders, Colonel Sanders, gets a crack. I know they're not getting the results at the moment. I like the look of this young bloke. I reckon he looks a little bit special. Now, it does also mean, aside from Jamal leaving, it means that Ethan Strange, and you pointed this out before a ball was kicked. I actually hadn't watched any of their pre-season stuff, so I wasn't aware.
Well, he didn't play in any trials, but because Ethan Sanders is a left footer, the games Ethan Sanders played in last year, Strange went to the right.
Right, yeah. So that's... Sanders has been awesome so far. But Strange last year, his ball running is his greatest strength. And the combinations that he formed on that left edge were so lethal, primarily with Hudson Young. Might just be taking a little bit more time. I felt like when they came out in the second half yesterday, he had a lot more of a run-first mentality. That suits the Raiders' style far better. The more that he can get his hands on the football and the more that Strange is running the ball, the more dangerous they'll be. With Sanders, even though they're not getting the results, I still really like the look of him, Darcie. His kicking game has plenty of variety to it. He made a good line break early on and was challenging the line, which is what you want to see from a young half. So I disagree with you. Brendan, in terms of I don't think they're in trouble. I want to see them start winning soon, but I still think they're a heavyweight contender in the competition.
No, the defence is a really good point that you raise, but I feel like there's a lot of teams at the moment in this first month of the season that are leaking quite a few points uncharacteristically. So, yeah, perhaps the next few weeks are probably going to be the most telling. Do we know who they have over the next few weeks? But, yeah, just on Ethan Sanders, I like him too. He's plays with a lot of confidence, and I suppose it's that youth in him. He hasn't been scorned just yet. Even if they didn't like him, though, there's no one really else that could play there. They got Kobe Black, but you interchanging a young half with another young half. So they've gone all in on Ethan Sanders, and I think they should continue with that.
Yeah, I think they've gone all in for a reason, because they went hard to get him out of Parramatta, and the Eels didn't want to lose him. He was one of the gun juniors coming through along with Blaze Talangi, who we've seen lighting it up for Penrith in recent times. They were the two superstar halves, and blind Freddie could see that they were both future NRL players. And the Raiders made it a really long-term project to try and get Ethan Sanders. At that time, he had Mitchell Moses and Dylan Brown blocking his pathway in front of him. I think they've pulled the right rein. I think it takes time. I like what Ricky said about we're not going to win a game of football while we continue to self-destruct. So he's just putting a little bit of heat and a little bit of the size 12 back into the Raiders, just to let them know that they've got a lot of points in them. But with the risks, you got to make sure that you're taking them at the right times. There were stages of that game yesterday where they probably just pushed the pass unnecessarily. Even when, was it Savage who made the break? Someone made a break down it might have been Tamale, made a break down the left edge, and Seb Chris is calling for him to kick it. Yeah, that's first tackle. If he takes that tackle, then they're on the attack for the whole set, and Cronulla's on the back foot.
That's kind of like the balance, isn't it? Because you've got this young team with so much X factor and the confidence to be able to play off the cuff footy and, dare I say it, eyes up footy.
No, that's banned on here.
Oh, sorry. Beat that out.
We haven't binned it. We've sent it off.
Beat that out.
That's banned, and all your other sayings aren't. How is that?
True. But that's the downside, I guess, or where they need to find that balancing act is to continue to play with that flair, but to also, I guess, have that maturity and the smarts about them to know when to rein it in a little bit, or if they do have these moments and they make an error, they need to be able to defend their errors. And that's, the involvement of what is a really young team.
Sorry,
Sorry,
just opened my mouth very loudly.
I thought you were chiming in. I thought you were chiming in like Xavier Savage. Put some shimmy, shimmy, whoosh, incredible footwork on.
There's Warren. I actually was and another person. I actually was going to, and you watch them play 80 minutes, and you're not actually worried about their defense, even though the stats say otherwise. Do you feel like the 6 again rule has kind of hurt them a bit, and it's going to take a while to adjust to it?
Not at all. No, I actually, to counter that, I actually think that they've specifically targeted players like Ethan Sanders, and I think that they have deliberately stacked the roster with strike power, players who can react and play off the back of second phase, created by the likes of Papali and Tapane. I think that they were well aware of the style of game that was going to emerge because of that trend, and they're trying to run with it. It hasn't clicked so far, but I still genuinely believe that it does for the Raiders. I'll tell you what's good signs for Cronulla, though. They didn't have Britton Okora yesterday.
No.
He's one of the best line-running back rowers in the competition. And for them, and there's no McInnes. How long's McInnes is out for a while, isn't he?
I think he was around 10, potentially, yeah.
So even though they're missing some of their better players, they needed to find a response. They were shithouse against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Like nobody saw that coming. Shark Park after dark, that sort of thing doesn't happen. So to get a response, and they were pressed by the Raiders. Like the Raiders kept challenging them. They had to keep finding a different variety of answers. I thought they answered it well. So
they've got some great second rowers, the Sharks.
They have.
Like Britton Okora, no worries. We've got Billy Burns, Teague Wilton. Billy Burns, he was playing New South Wales Cup for a really long time, and he has found his feet in the Sharks lineup so much so I think he's one of the longest time players.
He signed for the next 4 years recently, or 3 years potentially. But yeah, I thought that as well. And they played Britton Okora off the bench in the semi-finals last year. Do you feel like that's something they could lean in with?
Maybe.
No, I think he was just coming back from an injury.
Yeah.
The super coach news over analysing that. Don't read too much into that, mate. He's a Kiwi test back rower.
Yes.
If he's sweet, he's starting. Don't worry about
Very
that.
fair. And he's electric too. He's so good.
Yeah.
Very good. But you're right about Billy Burns. He has bounced around Penrith, Dragons. He's found a home under Fitzy. He's Fitzy's style of player. He's just a hard-working style of a bloke.
And he's a testament to the Sharks and how they've built their squad. Like every time there's an injury, there's always someone to come in. And the fact that he's willing to sign for 3 years, knowing he's going to be that guy, is just testament to the culture.
Showing that they're willing to promote from within as well, and not necessarily hit the market if they have the talent where they need in their lower grades. Up,
Cronulla. The boys in the black, white and blue are back. So good job yesterday. Righto, let's shift gears. And the second game yesterday was the Gold Coast Titans. They're on the board. The Josh Hannay era is underway. I'll tell you what, they needed 2 points. Bludger of a game. I'm going to call it for what it was. I don't think too many people will be referencing this game ever again in the annals of rugby league history. But you know what? All that matters, Darcie, the Gold Coast just needed to find a way to win, and they did.
Look, I don't mind watching two desperate teams trying to get their first win of the season. I thought there was some cool moments. Is it Aramaho?
Aramaho.
I think it's, how's it pronounced? I heard it was pronounced Ho.
Yeah. It's Ho.
Aramaho.
It's Aramaho.
They say it in like one breath.
Aramaho.
Aramaho.
He was outstanding. 2 tries, 2 line breaks, 9 tackle busts over 150 metres, 31 tackles, 0 missed. Like star of the show. He was outstanding. I thought the Titans' scramble defence was quite impressive. There were moments. I think they stopped Christian Tuipulotu right before the line, and he's a big body like that. And the Titans, outside backs are quite little. Like their strength is their speed and their ability to create something out of nothing. But to defend, I thought they were really, really impressive. I was happy for the Titans. AJ in the centres, bringing Lockie. I like it. Like I look, Jaden Campbell, you can put him anywhere and he'll do a good job. He's just a natural footy player, but I like him playing a more 5/8 role.
I want him on the ball.
Yeah.
Gets his hands on the ball more often when he's in the halves.
Yeah, and I found, like he said it in a pre-game interview as well, that bringing Lockie Elias in and letting Jaden play more of that 5/8 role can let him, I don't know, like not worry so much about running the show and more so focus on running.
Yes.
And given they won, I think they have to continue on with that combination again this week. Lockie Ellis in the halves and AJ in the centres. But I didn't think the Dragons were that bad. They had some howlers though, like the last passage of play where like Larkin King Tongia, took too long to dive on the loose ball, goes into the in-goal. Dan Atkinson gets tackled into the in-goal, and then the dropout goes over the sideline. You just think, oh, there's too much experience in this team to be making errors like that.
I felt like they don't have an issue powering their way up the field, the Dragons. Like their forward pack can punch well above its weight. They've got great back rowers in Sewer, and Leilua's lost a lot of weight because he's off contract. They don't have, Cookie is very sharp and years of experience out of dummy half. The issue isn't getting themselves into an attacking position. The issue is coming up with a variety of different punches when it comes to actually trying to pull the trigger. And they just, last night was another example where they had enough ball to put a lot more points on than what they did. They had enough ball to win the game. And for whatever reason, they couldn't get it done. The injury to Kyle Flanagan, everyone's sending their best wishes to Kyle. That looked nasty.
Flano Senior say that apparently he was out cold for like
5 minutes.
That's scary.
That's
scary.
Bad.
Taken to hospital.
Yeah. I look, watching it live. Well, they didn't show all the vision live from the ground, understandably. They obviously showed a few replays of it, but I think then when they realised the severity of it, then they sort of started cutting to replays of the tries and whatnot. But if he was out for 5 minutes, I don't think we'll be seeing Kyle for a little while. The doctors won't let him play after a scenario like that. But what it does expose to a degree is the Dragons let so many halves go over the summer. So Ilias went to the Gold Coast. Jonah Glover went to
Rabbitohs.
Bunnies. Ashton Ward went to the Bunnies this time 12 months earlier, and they haven't really – I know they've got the kid coming through, but he's not ready yet, Cade Reid.
And they've signed Joseph O'Neill from the Bulldogs, but like he hasn't got any NRL experience.
And that was an afterthought in like January. So to me, the Dragons have left this injury to Kyle just underlines the fact the Dragons have left themselves exposed here in the playmaking department. For whatever reason, they haven't built the right depth in that position. You've got Lycan King Tongia there, yes. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. But he's only, how many games did he play last year?
Yeah,
15 to 20
yeah.
NRL games. Looks a good prospect,
yeah.
But Daniel Atkinson's never played halfback in the NRL. Kyle's been around for a number of years now at different clubs. And then otherwise, things look pretty devoid. So I think it's been a nightmare start, and this injury to Kyle is going to compound it or could compound it even worse. Brandon, have you got any thoughts on what's going on here?
My one thought is potentially Gutho goes into the halves and maybe Sloan, because I thought Sloan played pretty well on the weekend. He's pretty much what Jason Saab is, rocks or diamonds, but the diamonds, and when his confidence is up, he plays well. So maybe that's an avenue they can take just to put a bit of experience and mongrel in the halves. I think that might not be the worst thing for them. But at the same time, we talked about it last week. It seems like they've refused to recruit and they've let these guys go. Jonah Glover was the favourite to start at halfback this season for the Rabbitohs, and I don't understand how they let him go. He was undefeated for 12 rounds with Lockie Ilias in that halves pairing, and they made the grand final. So I don't understand why they let these guys go. So yeah, it's a bit perplexing that they've done this, but maybe it puts a bit of a spark into their side that they need, because they're a bit stale at the moment, and I think they need a little bit of a kick.
It is crazy when you put it like that Lockie Ilias and Jonah Glover steered the Dragons to a New South Wales Cup grand final, and both of them
got moved on.
Yeah.
And look at
and even Ashton Ward, like he got moved on 12 months earlier and told he was too small to make it in the NRL. Wayne Bennett's had him playing in the NRL.
There's plenty of small playmakers.
Well, 100%. With the speed of the game now, with the six again and the way it's evolving, I'm loving the fact that your Jai Greys, your Jaden Campbells, those lightweight blokes with footwork and speed, it's quality entertainment. And ultimately that's what the power brokers of the game are aiming at.
And you look at the people who beat them in the reserve grade grand final, Tanner Boyd and Timari Martin, who are first graders. One of them is an out-and-out first grader. The other is playing the best halfback in the competition at the moment after the first 4 rounds. So, I think this will be a kick up the arse that they kind of need. But that being said, Toby Couchman and Ryan Couchman, their best players for the first 3 games were out. So probably can't be too critical of them. But yeah,
you can be. They're 0-4.
Yeah.
And I know there's reasons behind why, but you only get one shot every season.
Yeah, it's true.
And look, Flano was right. Flano got his prediction in Vegas right. No one's got them going anywhere near winning the comp. Well, certainly not now. Miracles do happen, Brandon. I'm actually going to agree with you here. I think your play about putting Gutho at 6 is the right play.
Yep.
Just because he provides experience and calmness. He's done it before. He can fit in there seamlessly. Sloan going to fullback is a little bit more of a risk, and knowing the style of risk-averse coach that Flano is, I don't think he's going to particularly want to do it, but I don't see what other bloody options he's got.
He's got nothing to lose.
Yeah, well, he's got no other options, so I don't know what else he can... Seriously, like, have they got another fullback?
I can have a look at their squad.
No, it's all right. Yeah.
But they've got the Cowboys this week, and then they follow up with Manly, Rabbitohs, Roosters, and then the bye. I mean, that Manly game is one game they could potentially win, but if they don't win the next 4 games, then they're in trouble.
Wow.
They are in trouble. Great to see on a positive note, though. The Gold Coast Titans
are
on the board. The Hannah era has started. There were plenty of positive signs, particularly the new look David Fafita on that edge. Ho is his surname,
Aramaho.
Aramaho.
Oliver Pascoe debut. Everyone was cheering him on. I think he kicked the final goal.
Oliver Pascoe?
Yeah, for the Titans.
No, I don't think so.
Oh. Maybe I imagined that.
It was Jaden Campbell, I'm pretty sure, the goal kicker.
Maybe I was just...
I could be wrong.
No, I must be thinking of a different game.
It was it Corey Jensen?
Oh, maybe I'm thinking Corey Jensen on his milestone game for the Broncos.
Yeah.
Corey Jensen, Oliver Pascoe.
Now I've had a loose carry straight off the top again for a change. Our Monday segment, look, it's winning all sorts of awards all over the world, nominated for everything, everywhere, flying and fizzing. So we all get to nominate a player or a side who we think is killing it at the moment, and then conversely, someone who's had a bit of a rocks or diamonds weekend. Darcie, how are you seeing it?
So my flying, I've gone in on the combination of Casey McLean and Tom Jenkins. Those two are flying with a capital F. Casey McLean is just, my goodness, leaps and bounds. He is so good. And Jenkins is the beneficiary. What is it, 10 tries in 4 games? Like, I've seen some people throw their names up for Origin. If you pick on form.
It's funny. I saw my mate Christian Nicolosi from the Herald wrote that article about a couple of weeks ago, right, saying I was too early to start. And I went, mate, you've gone off before acceptance is here. Like, it's a couple of games.
Yeah.
Crichton's obviously one incumbent. There's a variety of other very, very good centres that are going to be... Who are the Blues incumbents at the moment? Crichton and
Latrell Mitchell and Crichton.
Hello. Yeah, right. So with all due respect, like, he's killing it, Casey.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Origin, anyway, I thought, no, I won't bag Nico. I'll leave him alone. But I did think he'd gone a little early. Watching against Para, I went, shit, you know what? he could handle it.
Stranger
if he
things
had
have
to, if there was
happened.
injuries or if Laurie decided he was just going to go left field, this kid would handle it.
He
No
is
problem.
a freak of a talent. Do you want my fizzing?
Yep, absolutely.
The Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs.
Oh, I love it. Honesty.
Look,
We like
I
honesty on this
champion
show.
them when they deserve it.
Yep.
And I will call them fizzing when they deserve it.
Yep.
It was such a bummer of a game. First home game on a, back at a core. And they were the favourites, red hot favourites, deservedly so, and did not live up to that tag. And it's kind of taken a little bit of, I don't know, air out of the balloon ahead of Good Friday. Like, it
has.
Yeah. With Rabbitohs coming off a bye, I think we needed the Dogs to win, to go in undefeated, to really hype up that game. And now it's gone,
I think because of the absence of Kalen and Dylan Brown
Yeah.
for the Cruz brothers for the Knights, I think most people just thought
100%.
Canterbury had been in terrific form, 3-0. They should just be able to roll through the motions and collect the victory. You're missing a lot of middles, I noticed.
So many middles.
Kick-out finished up in the middle.
Yes. So
I was going, what's going on here? Crichton's playing 5'8" and kick
before a ball was kicked, so obviously Leo Thompson out with that calf injury. Sam Hughes was serving a 1-game suspension from a New South Wales Cup incident. Harry Hayes was out due to a concussion. Daniel Saluka-Fafita is out injured as well. Jack Todd not available. Jake Turpin serving.
I like him, that Jack Todd.
Yeah.
Well, he's only a young bloke.
Young. Jake Turpin as well, he's quite versatile. He's had a spot on the interchange in previous weeks, was out due to a concussion as well. So, and then Curran only plays minimal minutes because he gets crunched in the ribs. So, yeah, Kickhouse had to go to the middle. Jamin Salmons moved to an edge. Like, it was dire times to the point that I thought I was going to get pulled down. I was going to have to take a hit up.
You wouldn't have let him
Put
down,
me in,
Darce.
coach.
I got full faith in you. Righto, Brandon, flying off the top turnbuckle. I can feel you're about to inject something here. What do you got?
Flying Todd Payton. You should have seen how happy he was
yes.
after the game, and he was on Fox Sports and he was doing an interview, he was smiling from ear to ear. It was so good to see. I pretty much said his coaching career at the Cowboys was over 2 weeks ago. I think after the win last week, I thought that maybe prolonged it a couple of weeks, but after that, when he gets the Storm, the Cowboys have found something, and I don't think they can think about firing him soon because they found something. And yeah, with that roster, if they can get behind their coach, then they've got a good enough roster to make a fist of it.
Yeah, with the greatest of respect to Todd, if they couldn't beat the Titans the week earlier, he probably should have been gone.
Correct.
If they'd gone to 0-3. Awesome win over Melbourne Storm. Couldn't agree with him more. He was a happy bloke. He was trying to keep his cards a little bit tight in the Fox interview afterwards, but you could just see on the inside he was doing cartwheels and clapping his hands. Now, what about who's fizzing for you, buddy?
Fizzing is the Parramatta injury ward.
Yeah.
Matt Dury did his ACL on the weekend. Isaiah Yongi is out for a couple of weeks with an injury as well after losing Hopgood to an ACL again last week. So I think they've been pretty good to start the year. Obviously, they didn't compete against Penrith on the weekend. But that being said, they put on more points than the rest of the competition put together did. So I think that's just fizzing for them.
Yeah, it is devastating news for the Eels. Dury is a good young player.
And that's his second ACL, I think. And you could see his face too. Like, he was making a tackle and he dropped to the ground and you could see the fear in his eyes. My stomach dropped. Like, you just knew straight away.
You hate seeing those moments. And, I mean, the other one's Yongi as well. He's been one of the informed players, not just fullbacks of the competition. So, and they've got that huge Easter Monday clash coming up against the Tigers. So they are
Tigers
big
side
losses. Yeah, well, that brings me to my flying. So I'm going to go with Jock Madden, black and gold, never fail. What a great story this bloke is. He was at the Tigers a couple of seasons ago, couldn't quite crack it, finished up going up to the Brisbane Broncos under Kevy Walters. Played a few games, handful of games up there. Decides he's going to come back down to Concord. There might be an opportunity if something happens with Adam Dewey or Jerome Luai. Gets his crack in round 4. His granddad had passed away, had died that week, and he couldn't. Well, he could have chose to go on to the funeral and chose not to play, but he chose to play. Said his pop would have wanted him to play. Well, you did him proud, mate. That was an absolutely outstanding performance. The Wars went after him early. They went to the Tigers' right side and they found him. Tigers' left side. And they found him and they were having success there. And then all of a sudden, his kicking game, the variety in his kicking game kept them in the contest. And I just love the story, the fact that he's persevered, hasn't given up on his dream, gets his opportunity now with Jerome out for a few weeks, and we'll see what he can come up with Easter Monday.
Highlights the importance of having a ready-made half to come straight in.
A deputy.
Yep.
Well, the Panthers have done it for many years.
100%.
They've always had a backup.
Yep.
If something happens to Nathan, and it has happened in recent seasons, they've always had a Brad Schneider or whoever it is.
They have like a 3-tier. They got their stars, and then they've got like the ready-made kind of
backup
that's played a fair bit of cup, played a bit of NRL, and
deputy,
then the deputy, and then they've got their young gun. It's like the 3 levels.
Yeah, well, there's a reason there.
Yeah.
There's a
Maybe
reason they look like they're on the way
something.
to a fifth title in the last bloody 6 seasons. Fizzing, I'm going to say the Manly Seagulls, but more specifically, Jason Saab, Tommy Turbo makes a break at a point in that game where it was still very much in the balance. And if Saab catches the ball with his speed and his wheels, I reckon he's going close to scoring, or if not, he's flipping the ball back inside, and Tommy Turbo's got room. So, a rocks or diamonds night for Sabi, unfortunately, but I'm sure he will live to fight another day. Foz, our man in Foz we trust. Foz will get the best out of him. What an appointment that is, Kieran Foran for the Manly Seagulls. Now, we just touched briefly on the Tigers and the Wars. Now we'll deep dive into it. So, no Jerome Luai, $1.2 million playmaker, doesn't feature. They trail 10-0 and they still get the job done. If I'm Benji Marshall, that is by far, yes, the win over the Cowboys at Leichhardt had some merit to it, but the Cowboys didn't have Ruben Cotter that day. And in fairness, the Cowboys didn't really look like they were at the races that day. That win in tough conditions over in Auckland with everything going against them, Adam Dewey submitted a 15 out of 10 performance after looking like he could have been
leg was going to get amputated. Like
he looked like it was getting chopped off 100% the week earlier. But the way he ran the ball, took the line on, just come up with the right decisions at the opportune moments. That's the best game I've seen Adam play in a Tigers jumper for a long time. We touched on Jock Madden a minute ago. But just the resilience in the team, Darcie, I think that is probably what pleased Benji Marshall as their coach the most. He's talked it up a lot in the preseason, the fact that this is the standard now. This is the line that we're setting ourselves to. And if you don't like it, or don't let the door hit you. They delivered on that.
Yep. And we said they talk the talk, now they need to walk the walk. And you know, they haven't been perfect, but they are walking the walk and they are showing signs of improvement. Adam Dewey, outstanding, 2 try assists, 2 line breaks, 9 tackle busts and over 200 metres. Like those stats are astronomical. Jock Madden as well comes in seamlessly. It's like he never left the Tigers. He just looked so natural in that jersey. And I wonder if they'll look back at this game, you know, if they play finals or if they go on this run, I wonder if they'll look back at this game and say that was the turning point for us. That was the foundation, because we didn't have our superstar player in Jerome Luai, but we weren't looking for excuses. We went over to New Zealand with a plan to ambush them and deliver them their first loss of the season. And they, like you said, delivered on that, and the confidence that is going to instill them with. I think they go into the Easter Monday game as favourites for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, I think that's a fair call. In years gone by, the Tigers of old, they lose that game every day of the week. 10-0 down against the Wars side, full of confidence, undefeated. Tanner Boyd, electric start to the season. Luke Metcalf back into the side. They got a tough forward pack, the Wars. When you got Fisher Harris and Barnett, and I like the look of that back rower, Jacob Laban. He's shot himself out of a cannon to begin this season. Robust and powerful and can play big minutes. So enormous merit in the Tigers' victory. Brandon, how did you see the black and gold never fold performance?
I thought Alex Twal was outstanding. He's moved into that Terrell May role and really helped Terrell May kind of ease off the brakes with the minutes, because it felt like last year they relied on him too much in the middle, and now the fact that they've got an Alex Twal in that side doing exactly what he was doing last year, they can go punch for punch, which is awesome. Thought Jock Madden freed Dewey up a lot, and that style of footy really works, so it'll be interesting to see how they kind of change it up when Jerome Luai comes back, because Dewey played more a second receiver, whereas when Luai's there, he's more of a first receiver. So I wonder if they kind of implement that game plan when Jerome Luai comes back. I thought that break he made and passed the ball to Tito Tavano was like, it was so slick. It was ball out in front of him, and Tito Tavano scored his first NRL try. Was he that guy that scored the really freakish try in the trials?
No, that was Makasini.
No. There was another one where he was like sideways over the... That was Tito Tavano, I think.
Are you getting his name right? I think it's... Isn't it Tino?
Tino, sorry.
Are you getting...
That's all right. Apologies to Tino. It's not Tito Tavana. It's Tino Tavana.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Mate, don't worry. I have had a million loose carries with names over the years.
Falatino Tavana.
Yep.
Great name.
Yes, very good name.
Run with Tino Tavana. That's the right one. But you're right. He was 11 out of 10. Just his effort areas. I think Benji singled him out after the game. And he was one of the kids who, over the course of the summer, we all saw the video of Benji with a little bit of steel in the eyes and laying down the law with the playing group, the younger emerging players in the squad. I think there was actually a period in the preseason where he nearly got told,
wow,
don't let the door hit you, go. And he come back after Christmas, he's knuckled down, credit to him. He was enormous. What did you like about Tino's performance, Brendan?
I just like his energy and the fact that the Tigers in the past, they've had a really good starting 17, but they've never been able to bring guys in and do a really good job. They're missing Gerald Skelton, Taylor May, Stafford Toll was in their preferred 17 at the start of the year. And look what they're going with at the moment. Taruva's their most experienced outside back. They've got Makasini, Luke Luali and Tino Tavana. Really making a fist of it.
It's an L-plate backline. When you put it like that, when you actually run through all those players, how many NRL... There'd be under 20 games of NRL experience between all of them.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Oh, do you want me to do that?
It's super impressive. No, mate.
You're looking at me like you want me to do that.
Benji's not afraid.
No, it was just an observation. It was just an observation.
Benji's not afraid to bring in some young guns, is he?
He's not, and I think because of his own journey.
Yeah.
Like Tim Sheens gave him a go when
he was still in high school.
I can't remember if he was 17 or 18. He was still going to Canberra Park, and so he understands. He gets it. I think he also understands how good the energy of youth can be for some of the more senior players in the group. They feed off one another. The senior players protect the young blokes, but the young blokes, they got no fear. So they come in and they're prepared to take risks. And Tavana to out-jump RTS the way that he did and have an involvement in a couple of very crucial tries, I hope he kicks on for the rest of the season. I'll tell you another observation that I learned over the weekend, Brandon. The Friday fill-up, right? Never bet against your own side. It's a golden rule that I've always followed over the years. I didn't have a fill-up ready to roll as we were sitting here and talking underwater with a mouthful of marbles. So I said, all right, Brandon, hang on. You know what? I'll take the Wars. And then I threw in 2 try scorers, Halasima and one of the centres.
Laid Tower, but I would have given you a chance because he was the right centre because that's who...
Was there a late change, was there?
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, okay. Well, it wouldn't have mattered anyway because I still tipped the Wars.
It's karma.
You can't, it is. And then I went the Broncos and Reece Walsh. So they've got the 2 green ticks there. So you never bet against your own side, especially when they're $4 something. Just get on. Just get on. The more you put on, the more you get back. But gamble responsibly, of course, kids. Righty-ho. What did we think of the Wars and the Boyd and Metcalf combination? I think he sticks with it.
I think so too.
I just think that...
I thought Boyd was still pretty solid.
He was.
And I think Metcalf was just...
They weren't bad.
No.
They were playing like... I can't believe I'm saying it, but as the game evolved and wore on, the Tigers pack actually kind of got on top to a degree, which you would never expect against the Wars in New Zealand.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Tanner Boyd was still quite admirable, and I think Luke Metcalf was always going to take a few weeks to blow the cobwebs out. I wasn't expecting a massive game from him. Coming off a serious injury, it probably would have been important to him to just get through unscathed and just boost his confidence levels.
good signs from Luke Metcalf. I thought he went to the line strong, considering he's coming off an ACL injury, so there's no demons there in trying to get injured again. But I thought Tanner Boyd was really good. I think they've got to persist with it because it's a really, really good combo, and I think it can be one of the better ones in the competition if it sticks.
Yeah, I agree, Brendan, and I've still got them as a heavyweight now that they're getting back to close to full strength. I'll tell you what, when they get to full strength, the Wars, they are a very well-coached side. The other game Friday night was the Battle of Brisbane, and the Broncos, the Premiers, have put another week of circus headlines to bed with a very strong victory. Their little general Adam Reynolds returned from that, was it a hamstring injury?
Rib?
No, it was his ribs.
Rib.
You know what I've heard? I've heard it might have even been a little bit of calf too.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think it's ribs, and then he's had, I mean, look, Adam's obviously, this is his final season. He's close to hanging the boots up, and he's carried a lot of injuries over the course of a long and decorated career. I think he was trying to smother a little bit.
Bit of general soreness. Have you seen
Yes.
players sit out with general soreness?
general
I'm like, where?
Oh, I like that.
You know what? I went for my first run yesterday in about 6 years. I can relate. General soreness.
I think general soreness could be a metaphor for my life, Das. But nonetheless, the Brisbane Broncos, I thought they showed some really strong signs. A little bit off the mark the opening couple of weeks, but now quality victories over decent opposition in the Storm and the Dolphins. How did you see this performance?
Yeah, Broncos are back. They've been in the headlines, probably all eyes on how they've responded, and no better game than the Battle of Brisbane up at Suncorp, and they responded in style. I thought Katoni Staggs, he had a bit of a quiet start to the season. It's been really solid. He was really dominant in that game. Ezra Mam had some good moments as well. Still think defensively he's got a bit of work to do, but then I think he was the one that ran after Jake Averillo and clipped his ankle. So there was some really good efforts as well. And what about Ben Tolte and that freakish flick pass?
Oh my God.
To Reece Walsh. Like, what is that? Ben Tolte.
They want to take the front rower's license off him.
This
You're not supposed to do that.
Grade,
Shane Webke,
veteran that's gone up to the Broncos and has become a little cult favourite up there. It pulls out that pass. What a star.
Yeah,
that was so good.
Shane Webke and Andrew G fell off their chairs in the grandstand when that happened. Fell out of their seats. No, you're right. There was a lot to like about the Broncos. He's a good story, I think, Tolte, isn't he? Do you know much about his background?
I think he was at the Knights for a bit, and then he was at the North Sydney Bears. I know he owns a cologne business with Fletcher Baker.
Cologne?
Yeah. I wish I knew the name right now so I could give them a shout out.
Who's the banana farmer from up there? Oh, that's Flegler, isn't it? He was playing in the game too. He's off the banana farm.
But Ben Tolte, one of these really consistent reserve graders, just never really got a look in. I don't know if he got I feel like sometimes NRL clubs overlook a player if they've just teetered over that 25, 26 age, goes up to the Broncos, I think on a train and trial, drives up there and hasn't looked back.
Yeah.
He's been outstanding for them, probably on peanuts as well.
Yep, no, great story. And he's got a little bit of a knack for that, Madge. We saw it with Shibasaki last year. He obviously also featured Friday night as well, and now he's cert with Tolte. Brent, how do you get into the Cologne game, Brandon? That's so we've got Angus Crichton's into the barber.
Yeah,
yes.
I'm going to find their
the
cologne.
barbershop caper.
Nefertum is the cologne name.
There you go.
Nefertum.
Yeah, Nefertum. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced.
That rolls off the tongue nice and easily.
I think it's quite popular. I think they're doing really well.
In rugby league or
just in general.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good luck to them.
Yeah, no.
Good luck to him, whatever floats your boat.
Really good. And Darcie nailed his history. He started at Newcastle and then went to the Bears, and then he knows a lot of people in my area as well. So I thought he was from Penrith. That's why I Googled it, but he's not. He's from Scone.
Scone.
Well, they brewed him tough up around there. Brandon, your thoughts on the Broncos and also the Dolphins?
The Brisbane Broncos are the perfect side that can just get rid of that noise. And I thought this time last week the noise was drumming up so much that it would affect their on-field performance. But they dealt with this last year and dealt with the losing streak. But Madge got them through it, and they won a premiership ultimately last year. So I think their on-field performances are never going to be distracted with Madge at the head. Yeah, I think they did really well. And Tony Staggs was good. Adam Reynolds, that try he scored, the little
Shades of
kick.
Alfie Langer, wasn't it?
Yeah, a bit of Oz tag about it. But yeah,
You can't say that.
why not?
It's a sledge on a good try.
That might offend some rugby league players.
No, they do that in Oz
What's
tag.
that mean? I've never heard that before.
No, because the Oz tag, when you play Oz tag, you've got to grubber it, but it can't go in the in goals. So you've got to pick it up before you get to the try line.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's one of the rules in Oz tag.
I hate to break it to you. The NRL ain't us. Oh, that's very good. Righto, play on. Where were we? That is very good. I'll tell you what, the Hammer, he can still come up with a moment of brilliance, but when the game was on the line and in the balance, the Broncos did a good job to get after him there, and they managed to get a result. If I am Christian Wolf, I'm not panicking. I'm not panicking at this point, but certainly they want to be building some more momentum, because on their day, the Dolphins are one of the best attacking sides.
Yep.
Scored more points than any other team last season. They didn't showcase that. They didn't get to put their best football on the park Friday night against the Broncos, I felt.
I felt like they created plenty of opportunities but struggled to ice them. Like their passes just fell to the floor, or they just couldn't seem to nail down those opportunities to create those points. But tell you what, isn't Jake Averillo exciting to watch?
He's a good player. Where have I heard he's going? So I don't think he'll be at the Dolphins next year.
Every year he gets linked somewhere, but
Well,
he
was
speed.
obviously made his name at Canterbury, and it was through his wheels and through his finesse that he made his name there.
Because he can play halves.
He played
Yeah.
7 there
Fullback,
for a long
centre,
time. Yeah.
Where have I heard him link? Oh, it's the
St.
Dragons.
George.
It's the Dragons. Yeah. No, it's the Dragons heavy. I think he's pretty good mates with Kyle Flanagan.
Right.
I think the Bears have also made a play for him,
He'd be
right?
great
but
for the Bears.
I think I'm not sure if it's his wife or his partner. I'll say his partner has a very successful business apparently in Sydney. I think it's like a dance studio or that sort of caper.
Yeah.
And so I think he'll be returning to Sydney. And if I had to have a throw at the stumps, I would say he'll be at the Dragons next season. But to your point, Darcie, yes, electric wheels and nice and versatile. I thought, to your point about they couldn't quite ice the moments, thought sometimes when they were in really good ball opportunities, they tried to go a little bit sideways.
Yeah, okay.
The Dolphins are at their best when Izzy and Katie Nikorima are just playing nice and straight. But we'll leave that all up to Christian Wolf. He knows a lot better than us. And no doubt they will be back again throwing punches in round 5. Fun fact about Christian Wolf, he used to do some tent fighting in the old boxing tents up in far north Queensland. Yep. And his name was, because you get given like a bit of a fighting name. What do you reckon his nickname was?
Wolfman.
Yes.
Not bad. You got any idea?
Yeah, I would have gone like Wolf or something. Marty
Afro
Wolf.
Savage. Afro Savage. So used to have, apparently, back in the day, used to have a little bit of the Leo Sayer going on. Oh, that's probably before your time, Leo Sayer. But used to have a little bit of the Jackson 5 Afro style of haircut.
That. Yeah.
And so that was what he got dubbed. And I can promise you, I've spoken to a few people who saw him fight. Stay wide of him because he knows how to throw them.
Afro
Rightio.
Afro Savage.
Now that I've just completely gone off target with largely irrelevant anecdote, but it was a fun one anyway. So
It's good to know.
We'll roll it out.
Yeah.
We get to your game, Darcie, the Doggies and the Knights. Doggies were bitterly disappointing, missing a lot of middles.
Yep.
I think the biggest talking point from a Canterbury point of view out of this game was the fact that Ciro made the play to shift Stephen Crichton in to 5'8" and Matt Burton to the centres. I like the fact that Ciro's prepared to take risks when Canterbury are in a scenario that's a little bit unfamiliar. They're chasing points. And credit to Newcastle, like they played absolutely brilliantly.
Yeah.
Do you see, is this a chance of evolving or...
I wouldn't have a clue. I'd like to think that I...
Can we get Ciro? Let's get Ciro on a live cross.
I like to think that I sit in the coaches' meetings each morning and have input into...
Shoot the breeze.
You know, gather around, boys. No, I've got no idea. I don't know. Look, like you spend a whole preseason with Galvin and Burton in the halves. Like
apparently Critter did fill in at stages.
Yeah, but that's not like, I think all clubs play in different positions. It's like working out scenarios, right? Like if someone goes down, who's going to go into the halves and how are we going to fill the void in the centres of X, Y, Z?
Yep.
So I don't think there's anything to read into with that. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. One thing I agree with you with Serraldo that like he's not afraid to just shake things up, and he said in his press conference as well, like we needed to do something, right? Like so we needed to get Critter on the ball more, so let's just pull the trigger and see if we can win this game and then go back to the drawing board. I think coaches only think about what's in front of them at that moment, and if they need to just blow things up and move things around to win that game, they'll do it, and then they'll reset before the next week. But, yeah, I really have no idea. I'd be surprised, though, if he was to make that change this early. Because
I'd be stunned.
Because
right? He's the best centre in the world, Stephen Crichton, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And, look, the competition's flush with very damn good centres at the moment. But Crichton is an elite special talent, and I've never been a big fan, and I've heard champion players say over the years, the idea of weakening one position to try and strengthen another, what's the point?
Yeah.
You're far better off. You're far better off sticking with. He's the best centre in the world, so he plays as it is. He's moved from the right to the left anyway to start this season. I'd be leaving him where he is. I think Burton's your 5'8", and I think they're clearly trying to make it fly with Lockie Galvin at halfback. Your thoughts, Brandon, on how the Doggies' halves looked?
They've been struggling to score points over the first 3 rounds that they've played, and I wonder, with the Zeri news this year, Reid Marnie, Bailey Hayward, Toby Sexton last year, does that move kind of put Matt Burton offside at all? Like, he's your 5'8", and I feel like if you can't trust your fight...
What do you mean put him offside?
Well, putting him to the centres, because the whispers have been...
I see. Right,
so the whispers have been putting him to centre, and he would obviously be reading into that, and Serraldo I would assume would be saying, you're our 5'8". When that happens mid-game, does that kind of put a little bit of doubt in his head? He's meant to be the 5'8". He's meant to be backed. I wonder if that's just... It's going to put a bit of a weird imbalance within the side in terms of Matt Burton. I understand Serraldo has his guys in his side, so the people that are in that side at the moment buy into the side. So I've got no doubt he's probably all going to be gravy this week. But if they're worried in round 3 about...
Gravy or different gravy? Just gravy.
All gravy. All good. That's what it means. That's what it means. Yeah, I just wonder if... if they're willing to pull the trigger in round 3 by doing that with Matt Burton, is it a sign of things to come?
I don't think it is. I think it was purely game scenario related. I think the fact that they were chasing points, Newcastle had stunned everybody. Dom Young, far out. I'd forgotten he could play that good. I'll tell you what, if I'm Holbrook, just get him doing exactly whatever he did in the lead up to that game. And we just want to cut and paste copy of it all over again.
Their scramble defence too. The Knights defended. So they turned up to that game.
They're depleted.
But they came to that game ready to ambush, and they took it personal. They knew that people weren't giving them a chance, and they were going to say, nah, watch this.
I wonder if it's a little bit of... Because Leo Thompson, I know he didn't play, but he made the call to leave Newcastle and go to Canterbury. I don't know. I think Holbrook's a damn good coach. And I think since he has gone in there, I love the way that he took the playing group down into the mines in the Hunter and said, look, these are the blokes and the people that you're playing for, and we want to be a tough, gritty style of a side because that's the area that we're representing, and we need to respect and appreciate that. Well, they certainly did against Canterbury. And no one evidenced that more than Phoenix Crossland with the avatar beak by the end of it. I tell you what, he looked like he'd been hit with a cricket bat or a Louisville slugger. That's going to be sore. That's going to be sore. You can't needle that.
Yeah, I don't know if he had a modelling career
No, I think
on the cards, but that's gone.
Nah. He and I were both a fair way back in the pack to begin with anyway, Darcie. But no, that's definitely well and truly over now. Oh, maybe Lowe's. They're always looking for it. Lowe's are always, that's the thing I love about Lowe's, is they don't discriminate against anybody. He might be a chance there. But I tell you what, he is playing fantastic football at the moment, and symptomatic of the entire Newcastle side. They're just having a dig for one another. And
They're currently in the top 4.
are they?
Yeah, they're 4th. Tigers are 3rd.
Hey, careful. We're under the radar, mate. We're under the radar. Darcie's saying they're favourites. No.
You're not used to this.
This is when it just all implodes and someone puts 50 on us. But no, I thought Newcastle, to be missing their best 2 players, lead 16-0 at halftime. We've touched on Dominic Young. I want to give Sandon Smith another rap. I feel like a busted record to a degree. He's going to be one of the best buys of the season because of his versatility, and he's not a bloke who kicks stones or carries divots. He didn't make the starting side to begin the year. Started on the bench in Vegas, went on and was awesome against the Cowboys. And then, he's very much still honing his craft, and he's going to make mistakes. But I tell you what, against the Bulldogs, that's up there with as good as I've seen him play. And that is such a great deputy to have available if anything goes on with Dylan Brown. And Fletcher Sharp he picked up an injury in that game too, didn't he? So what's the crack with him? Is he gone now or?
Oh, I'm not sure.
I think he might. I heard he's picked up something else again. And he might also have some issues. But look, congratulations to Newcastle. A stoic performance. The Doggies back to the drawing board, and it's a short turnaround.
Into Good
You
Friday.
haven't got long. I'll tell you what, the drums are going to be going Burko out there on Good Friday.
Yeah.
So last year, record crowd.
Yeah, over 65,000 last year.
I was there last year. That was unreal. That was off its head. That's actually... Just before you finish that is the best club game I've ever been to at a core. That's one game experience where when you go to a core, you say, okay, this stadium has got a place. Yep. I don't like it for run-of-the-mill games where you're only getting 20, 30,000 people there as a crowd, but for the big games like that with traditional rivals...
It was it was one of the best days of my life. But the way that the club marketed that game, they brought out the $10 tickets.
That's right.
So, just the casual fan thought, why not? $10, Good Friday, let's go. Beautiful weather. The entire precinct was just buzzing. And then, you go into the game and I think the Dogs won 32-0 or something. And even Max King was barging down and scoring under the post. It was such a great day for the club. Rabbitohs home game this year. So I'm not really in the know of what the crowd's going to look like.
You alternate every year.
Yeah, alternate this one every year. But God, I hope it's another big one. I hope it's another big crowd because that's a great way to spend your Good Friday.
I'm sure the Bunnies will be pumping it up equally because Blake Solly, he likes to get the turnstiles clicking. He's pretty sharp in that department. So I think they get a big crowd again.
Hope so.
Bunnies off a bye.
Yep.
I'm loving this. I'm loving the sounds of this already. When is it, Thursday or Friday?
Good Friday.
Friday.
4 p.m.
Yeah.
Not soon enough. Not soon enough.
I just want to go back to Newcastle. Harrison Graham.
Yes, I'm glad you raised him. Yep.
And Pasami Solo. There's a few guys within their side that are playing better than what I thought their potential was.
So what's the story with, does anyone know, and it's always dangerous when you ask a question without notice, Harrison Graham was the first player that the Dolphins ever signed. Peter O'Sullivan scouted him, liked the cut of his jib, bang, got him in. He must have had injuries or something and he couldn't quite, things didn't work out there. And then Sully's now the head of recruitment at the Knights. Right. So he's clearly gone, listen, this kid can play, get him in. That's not the first time that he's proven to be like a super sub this year. He did it against the Raiders as well.
Yeah, there was.
Yep. He was outstanding.
It wasn't the Raiders.
No, sorry. Manly, that's it. On the day when they lost their 2 best players for the afternoon. So, I really like what he brings to the table. Right, we'll shift gears into the heavyweight department, and I'll tell you what, shots fired in the Battle of the West. The Panthers are armed and dangerous at the moment. Nathan Cleary, I don't think I've seen him in better touch, which is a scary proposition. I really, really hope that he just transitions this form into State of Origin and it just rolls and rolls and rolls because it's brilliant to watch. But the Panthers right across the park, they just absolutely minced the Eels early on. Parramatta didn't have any answers.
Honestly, the Penrith Panthers, like, they're unstoppable at the moment. And I think the biggest sign of, like, things are just going so well for Nathan Cleary. Everything he touches turns to gold. And I just, like, highlight that kick where he kicks it and it hits the bloody the post for Lindsay Smith to regather and score. Like, I don't even know if that was intentional or not, but things
He's claiming it wasn't. It's an old Joey Johns trick from way back, and Joey became an expert. And I did watch something recently where Anthony Minicello was talking about how Joey executed it in a State of Origin game and Mini came flying through and New South Wales won that series. I don't know if Nathan watched that or not, but I know how studious he is and how diligent he is with studying previous playmakers and being across all types of old vision. It wouldn't surprise me if it was deliberate, and he's being humble.
But their entire backline from 1 to 7 are just, and like, we're not even talking forwards yet, and their forwards always aim up, but their backline is just humming. And you know, again, like I highlighted it earlier with my flying, like just Casey McLean and Tom Jenkins, and then you got it's like Brian To'o is Brian To'o, right? Like, the dude is a superstar of the game, but I feel like he's kind of getting overshadowed.
By Milky?
Yeah, just in general. Like, because not overshadowed, but as in, like, we're not talking about him as much as what we usually would.
Yep.
Because there's all these Paul Alamotti, McLean, Jenkins, there's all these other players that are aiming up and starting to steal the headlines a little bit. Blaze Talangi as well. He had a bit of a slow start to life as a Panther. He looks so good. So good.
I'll tell you what would have hurt the Legion of Parramatta faithful there would have been him scoring that try the way that he did. He's a local junior. We spoke about Ethan Sanders earlier. He come through with Sanders. Those two were the two that they were going to build the club around, or that was the plan. Didn't work out that way. That's a previous administration, not the people who've got hold of the steering wheel now. But that would have hurt because Talangi is going to be a star. And I understand why he decided to go to Penrith. As if you wouldn't. If you get the opportunity to go learn under Ivan Cleary and play alongside Nathan Cleary and you're a playmaker, well, where do I sign? It's very easy. Milky Jenkins, what a story, right? What a story. He's keeping Tungo out of the team. Tungo's on about 700 plus a season. I think if it continues the way that it is, Penrith might have to look at maybe putting Tungo, giving him permission and letting him have a look around, because the way that Milky's kicked the door off the hinges to start the season, Brendan, only an injury is going to make him not be selected in that side.
100%. He's so different to every other winger that they've had. They've always had meat eaters as wingers, given he ran 197 metres on the weekend. Brian To'o, 92 metres. He averages 200 metres for his career. So the fact that their game plan isn't relied on To'o running bulk meters is scary, because teams are so used to Brian To'o coming back, and you know, Alamotti, Casey McLean, just so good. 10 tries in 4 games for Tom Jenkins. I didn't know he had this in him. He was signed to play New South Wales Cup. Oh, no.
He was signed to play Ron Massey Cup originally.
That's why it's such a good story.
And then signed with St. Mary's, and then killed it so much in preseason. They took a bunch of those St. Mary's boys to New South Wales Cup Penrith, and then they were like, hold on, he's too good for this. And goes straight back into the first grade side, train and trial, and has never looked back. But I always rated him. Like, he was back at Penrith pre-Newcastle Knights days, and he was always a really consistent player in New South Wales Cup. Got that deal up in Newcastle. I don't know. I don't know what happened in Newcastle. I don't know if maybe he thought, I don't know, maybe he felt like he made the wrong move, and he was so happy at Penrith. He probably went to the Knights for an opportunity, and probably realised how good he had it in Penrith, and it just didn't click up there. And It's why he came back down to go and was willing to just go and play Massey Cup. But love his story. Love watching him play. He's so I don't know what the word is, but bouncy comes to mind. He's just bouncy. He just agile, but bouncy. I don't know what it is.
Mario Kart when you get the star.
Yeah,
that's him.
We might add that into flying and fizzing. Who's bouncing?
Who's bouncing
this week? Ivan Cleary, the Panthers coach, said that's as good as Penrith have played in terms of what they put together in the opening 25 minutes. For Ivan to say that, he's normally very understated and doesn't like to overhype things or sensationalise headlines or anything like that. So credit to him. At least he's calling it how he sees it. But that is a scary proposition for the rest of the competition because, look, there's been a little bit made about Parramatta being able to score 4 tries against Penrith.
Oh, it's nothing.
I'm not reading that. I just think it was a consolation. They had the game well in the bag. I don't think it's an accurate reflection of how dominant this Penrith side is at the moment. And the scary thing is they're going to play Melbourne this week, right, in round 5 on Friday night, and the Storm are coming off back-to-back losses.
It's going to be a great game.
Oh, it will. It'll be an awesome game because bellyache, you just know what bellyache's like. It's very rare, actually. No, I'll come to you about that during. Did you suss out? I want to try and find out how many times Melbourne have lost 3 games in a row under Craig Bellamy. I don't think it's very often. That's a nice, easy. That's a nice, easy start to get to the bottom of.
Was it the last time they lost back-to-back games was like 2022 or something?
Yeah, that's ringing a bell. Yeah. As you know, on Rugby League Insider, we're always right across all the latest cutting-edge statistics. We're in the lab. We're in all sorts of labs. We've got the Bunsen burners rolling and we're crunching algorithms. Penrith, Mitch Kenny looks as though he's going to miss a week.
Yeah, unless they challenge it. But I
know I haven't got a result with Nathan, but I don't know if he can get a result for Mitch for this one on Iongi. Mitch Kenny's one of my favourite players. He reminds me a lot of Jeff Tuvey when Jeff Tuvey played dummy half. Not a big bloke, punches well above his weight, leads Penrith's line speed every single week and is just relentless in that department, rarely misses a tackle. And I love his service is just crisp off the deck. He's not trying to flash or finesse or do anything tricky, right? Rarely will he go for a scoot. He just puts it on a plate for Nathan and Blaze Talangi or Dylan Edwards, and he always shows up. So it'll be a loss losing him. I think he'll have to miss a week, Darcie.
Probably. And, yeah, just to your point of how valuable he is to that team, we've seen him slot in at lock and front row as well. So he's so versatile. But, he just does his job right. He's not looking to be the superstar. He knows his place in that side. He knows there's enough X factor and superstars around him that he doesn't need to do anything other than provide good service, make his tackles, and lead, kick, chase, his line speed. He's just plays with energy and aggression. And I think that's why they love him so much. He's been another great story. Remember he was mowing the lawns at Penrith when
I do when he come through. I think he's a Windsor Wolves junior. His old man's a brickie, and he is. He's a great story. He's a great story. You know what? He wouldn't let the Blues down.
No.
I know it's early. It's a little bit early to get the Origin Periscope and the crystal ball out 100%. In that department. I said it last year. And he and Reece Robson are similar styles of player. I'd have for mine. I like Mitch Kenny. I just like what he brings. Brandon, how are you going over there? You got your shit back together again? You've had a couple of laughing fits, a sneeze. You're a bit. What's going on? You're a little bit on tilt today.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm good.
Couple too many fruit tingles last night, or a couple apple ciders, or what's going on?
No drinks on the weekend.
None at all. Me too, brother. You must be feeling fresh.
I'm feeling fresh today. Got up nice and early at 4 o'clock this morning.
Did you go to the gym?
Yes.
What'd you do at the gym?
Back and biceps. I did that last week.
Back and biceps. Yeah. Just the beach weights?
Sorry?
Just the beach weights.
What does that mean?
I've heard that before. Just the weights to show off the guns at the beach.
Just the teddy bear weights.
Yeah, pretty much.
No cardio, nothing else.
No. What are you laughing at?
Oh, love it. That's gold. That is gold.
Isaiah Papali'i.
Yes.
I think he's been really good this season, and it looks like he's locked down that starting position on the left edge. And for the Penrith Panthers over the last 4 years, Scott Sorensen has been on that left edge pretty much every year. So the fact that he's taken over that position, competition for spots, and they're looking red hot.
Can't wait. Friday night, they host the Melbourne Storm. I tell you what, make sure you're in position because that is after the Doggies and the Bunnies.
That isn't a good Friday. That is a great Friday.
It is a great Friday.
It's not
I'm just trying to work out what I'm going to put something on the barbie, some sort of fish.
Yeah.
You got to have fish on Good Friday, don't you? I was thinking of slow roast lamb, but I think that's a little bit that's against the grain. You're not supposed to do that.
Sydney fish markets are open and they're really good.
Maybe go and buy a big bag of prawns or something. That could go well. Yeah. Righty-ho. And the last game that we're going to cover this morning is the Cowboys. What a game this was. That pass from Harry Grant was a silkier pass.
How many people did he cut out? His whole team.
I think they called it 3, but it looked more like 4. But just the way he sold it from the get-go, watching the replays, you could see that he had it on the whole time and he was just waiting for the right time. And then he didn't – it just looked effortless. He just sort of flicked it and a brilliant bullet umbrella, bang, straight onto the button for Will Warbrick. That was his 4th try. And at that stage – Melbourne led by, what were they up by at that point? I think it was 24-12, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was. It was 24-12 with 15 minutes to go. You're back in Melbourne every day of the week in that scenario. So credit to the Cowboys. What did you like, Darcie, about the way that they were able to fight their way back into proceedings?
Well, like my man Jake Clifford, I said from the very beginning, he is their 5'8", and the calls to move Jackson Purdue in there and drop Clifford, I was always against it. I've had full faith in Clifford. He's got a strong running game, similar to Burton, big body, strong running game, big boot. And I thought he was really impressive. Scott Drinkwater was great as well, had some nice touches. I thought the Cowboys' scramble defence was really impressive. Yeah, for a team that was showing nothing a few weeks ago against the Tigers in defence, they definitely showed a lot of improvement there. And like you said, to be down with 15 minutes left and to not drop their chins, which would have been really easily against the Melbourne Storm, to actually have the fight and the confidence to keep going after the contest, absolutely paid off. Fantastic win. Really happy for him, really happy for Todd Payten. And, let's see if they can continue and use this as a bit of a springboard.
That's a challenge. Like I said earlier, I think a good win over the Gold Coast, but nothing to write home about. That's not going to win Todd Payten a new contract. Well, if they continue to perform the way they did against the Melbourne Storm, who are a serious heavyweight contender, then all of a sudden that's a different story. Brandon, you look like you got a bit of a glow up about the Cowboys. What did you like about the way that they played?
Oh, yeah, Jake Clifford for one. Amazing. Braden Burns, I think, on that right side has been really good as well. I think they've got a decent balance of players like Hilam Lukey, really coming into his own, playing 80 minutes every week, and they've only got Nanai to come back. I thought it was interesting with Reid Marnie played limited minutes, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but I do worry. This is a habit for the Storm. Is this a bit of a false narrative for them? Is it going to give them a bit of false confidence that they played the Titans and the Storm and had good wins? Are they going to be a bit complacent? It feels like in the past they've done this quite a bit where Todd Payten's job is on the line. They come out, they win 2 amazing games, and then the same story happens all over again. The challenge is going to be to keep this up for an extended period of time. And I think with their roster at the moment, they can do it. But I wouldn't be surprised if they came out and did the opposite and kind of fell off again. So, Jay Clifford at number 6, I think he was great. Tom Dearden, quite to his standards, but like he's just a leader in that side. So Scott Drinkwater was great too.
Yeah, he's electric drink. He's one of those rocks or diamonds players where he can win you the game every week, but he can also come up with a left field brain explosion. Saturday night at work, because the Cowboys got the victory,
You can only have those players in your side if the whole side can defend it.
Yeah, defend the errors.
Yeah,
it's worth the risk.
Exactly. It's not completely his fault. Like Reece Walsh is exactly that player, and his side is willing to defend it. So kind of feel sorry for Scott Drinkwater in that way, because I don't think he should be under that much pressure.
I love him as a player because he's prepared to take risks.
Yeah.
And too many players often when they get into a scenario where the game on the line, well, that's where you find out what players have got internally, because the risk takers are the ones who will go after it, and they might not always get the result, but you want them in your side because they're the ones who are prepared to try and attack it. Drinkwater's one of those every day of the week. Interesting that the Cowboys, there was noise around they were looking to shop him. Or they were shopping him, which is interesting because he's been up there for a long time. He's had a great rapport with Todd Payten throughout his tenure there. So, look, it might have been a little kick in the arse, a little rocket for Drinky. He certainly responded. I think he's been one of their better players over the course of the last couple of weeks. What about the Storm, Darcie? How do you see them responding against Penrith?
Poor old Will Warbrick. Imagine scoring 4 tries and losing. Like, that's unheard of.
That's the dream.
Yeah, it's like, you're happy, you're sad, I don't know. Do we feel like they switched off when they were in those last 15 minutes, because they were up and maybe they thought, yep, we've been here before, we can put the icing on the cake, we're up, let's just get the job done, get the 2 points and get out of here. And I wonder if there was a moment where they did kind of get a little bit complacent, the dreaded C word, and let the Cowboys back in the game. But there were some like uncharacteristic moments. Like, wasn't their first kickoff of the game went out on the full? Like, just moments where you're like, that's not
not them.
Storm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Knowing the no bullshit approach that Craig Bellamy takes, he'll be pouring over the final 15 minutes, and they will have already reviewed where it did go wrong and why it did go wrong, and they'll be back training harder than ever, and he'll be looking to quickly spin things around. I can't remember the last time, I'm being genuine here, I cannot remember the last time that Melbourne lost 3 games.
2022.
Was it?
Oh.
Yep. Right.
16, 17 and 18.
Right.
Round.
Right.
Yep.
So that would have been close to Origin period.
Actually, you know what?
Yeah,
I can remember Melbourne lost 5 in a row, I think it was, when was leading into a final series, and Craig Bellamy ultimately ended up pulling the trigger on Brodie Croft as halfback put Jerome Hughes in, and then they kicked and
2016?
Nah, I think it was even after that. I think it was 2020. I think it was 2020. They won the comp.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'd be right.
No,
yep.
16 Cronulla won.
Yeah,
16 was Flano and Gal. They turned the porch lights.
18. So
Yep.
Sets up a great game though, because they don't lose 2 games in a row and cop it on the chin. Like, they're gonna come back out firing against a red hot Panthers side. Like, this could be game of the season.
Oh, it'll be awesome. Don't miss it. I'll tell you what, we'll finish on a positive note. Braden Burns, another bloke who is a ripping story, bounced around a variety of different clubs, bit of a clubs, not Cubs. Bit of a journeyman as such. Been at the Bunnies, been at Canterbury. Have I missed any? Was he at Penrith?
Yeah.
Was he at Penrith for a little while?
Yeah. I think he's been to the Bunnies twice.
Yeah.
Once or twice.
Yeah, he went to the Bunnies the second time.
Yeah. New South Wales Cup contract, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a great story in terms of never giving up, always been prepared to chase your dream, and gets an opportunity up at the Cowboys, scores a match winner. And very humble style of a bloke. Did it tough a little bit as a young bloke growing up, but just a great example of a player, a lot of willpower, a lot of drive, and refuses to close the door on anything.
Yep, effort-based player and a nice guy off the field too.
He is a very good bloke. Brandon, as are you. You've been outstanding today. I'm giving you 3 Dally M points for today.
No. I probably only deserve 1 in this panel.
You didn't drop the kickoff.
I dropped 1 of them, I reckon.
That's all right. It was already, we were 60 minutes into the game. Yeah, we were 60 minutes in.
It was a crucial time of the game,
There was a comfortable lead.
We got a little complacent.
As always, we appreciate everybody tuning in on Rugby League Insider. We're on Fanatics TV. We will see you all again tomorrow. Enjoy your footy.